Hi everyone, and today I thought we should do a study of courage. I just really excited to get into this, and to be honest, I wasn't even planning on making this video until really a couple seconds ago when God gave me the idea. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like straight up. For last year, 2019 was not a good year for me. And a lot of it was self-sabotaging, and because my family talked to me and basically had an intervention with me for 2 whole days, I finally understand now, and so many things have been made clear, and this last couple of days, God's talked to me so much through my family as well. Because my family stepped up and talked to me because they cared enough to stop me from living like life as a victim and saying a bunch of bad things and being mean to people and stuff like that, because they stepped forward and helped me. I want to change. One of the ways to fix it, the things of last year, is to fix my social life, which is important because people need to socialize with other people, because God said that we need to talk and be in fellowship with our brother and other men being our brothers, not like some sort of dating thing, just to be in fellowship with one another and to get closer to one another, and I really need that especially. I have a thing tonight, a church thing, where I'm gonna go to like this college profession group thing. And yeah, I know I keep saying thing, but I'm gonna go to this college profession thing and talk to a lot of people there. And I've already been there once. I actually went there for like a Thanksgiving thing because my family told me to, and I did to appease them instead of fixing the problem. I think it wasn't my intention to appease them, but it just ended up being that way, sadly. Anyway, not the point. And when I went there, basically all the people there went out of their way to talk to me, were very nice to me, were very kind and compassionate, like listening to me, and they paid attention to me and stuff like that, and I had a really great time. So I'm going again tonight, next year, all that jazz. And by the way, this isn't like a New Year resolution, blah, blah, blah. It's not a resolution. It's a thing that I can't give up on. So when I say I'm going to be going and getting more social and changing life and stuff like that, that's through God's grace, mercy. It's because God's intending it on my heart and pushing it and being there for me. It's not by me, it's by God. By the way, sorry for the lighting. I'm based on the lighting from outside, and it's apparently a little cloudy today. Anyway, see? Anyway, I wanted to read about the courage and maybe encourage you as well for this new year to have new changes in your life and, just become more courageous. And when we become courageous together, we'll be able to talk to more people, hang out with more people, and spread God's love, and not be afraid. Because what the Bible says, we're not supposed to be in fear, but also not fear the things that other people fear. So a good way to start doing that is to study courage and be like really cool and like boo, and yeah, let's get into it. And I want to kind of show you guys how I study, and if you guys have any study tips on how to study the Bible below, please tell me. Like, heck yeah, I need some help. I would love some help. Let's get started. I like to use Bible Gateway as my reading online because I have a couple Bibles. In my other videos, I show the Bible in my videos like it's just a piece, but I can actually open and read it. I have another Bible over there, stuff like that. But I like reading online personally. It's just more convenient for me because then I can't use it as an excuse if I don't have my Bible on me, I can't read. My Bible's always on me if it's always on my phone. Anyway, I read this last night when I was reading Courage because I didn't want to be like angsty and then have stomach issues, and because being more anxiety is more than just like, well, it's very much anxiety. If I don't have courage, it's like having that weight on your chest, always feeling like you almost can't breathe, terrible things like that, feeling like you can't do squat and anything, and acid reflux. That's what I'm trying to say. Anxiety can give you acid reflux, and I was trying to get rid of it last night, and I looked up like a chapter of the Bible that's about courage, and I ended up reading about Deuteronomy 31, and I believe God wanted me to do this again and read this again and show it to you guys again. So I'm going to read it, and I'm going to stop at sections and talk about that as well. Alright, let's begin. Deuteronomy chapter 31. I read the New International Version because for me it's a lot easier to read, and I'd rather understand things more before I move on to more complicated reading of the Bible. So yeah. Joshua to succeed Moses. Then Moses went out and spoke these words to all Israel. I am now 120 years old, and I am no longer able to lead you. The Lord has said to me, you shall not cross the Jordan. The Lord your God himself will cross over ahead of you. He will destroy these nations before you, and you will take possession of their land. Joshua also will cross over ahead of me, as the Lord said, and the Lord will do it to them what he did to Sihon and Og, the kings of the Amorites, whom he destroyed along with their land. The Lord will deliver them to you, and you must do to them all that I have commanded you. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Then Moses summoned Joshua and said to him in the presence of all of Israel, be strong and courageous, for you must go with this people into the land that the Lord swore to your ancestors to give them. You must divide it among them as their inheritance. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write that down, all of verse 7 and 8, or at least the important parts. I'll tell you what I write down. All right, I'm going to write that verse down now. On the top of my paper, I'm going to put verses about courage. If you got time, you can make it all pretty too. That's all good here, because you want it to be something that you look forward to doing. And if you like drawing and stuff like that, then maybe you should make a little doodle, but don't be obsessed with it, because if you're anything like me and you start drawing, then you don't pay attention to what you're doing, and therefore it kind of makes what you're doing kind of useless. Alright, so I'm going to write down Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 7 through 8.
There we go.
Be strong and courageous. For ellipses or whatever that's called, you must divide it among them as their inheritance. I encourage you to write down what's important to you, because just because I did not put, then Moses summoned Joshua and said to him in the presence of all Israel, doesn't mean that's not important to you. Which also means whenever I write down, you must divide it among them as their inheritance, it doesn't mean you have to write it down, because it could mean squat to you, but it means something to me, and I'll explain it after I finish writing it down, of course. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsaken you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. You're also welcome to underline anything or not. That's all good. You're welcome just to underline it or write in cursive if you got that skill under your belt. Sorry for the squeaky chair and all that I just said. You're also welcome to pause this video, listen to God, or if you hear God, do what he says, stuff like that. This is a great time just to spend in God's presence. Like, you don't have to continuously talk to him. In fact, I really encourage you to just stop, take a deep breath, and ask God if there's anything he would like to say to you. Alright. Let's go over it. Now that you've written down your verse, I know, I wrote down a lot. Now, let's, now what you're gonna do is, there's also, I'm gonna say this now, but this is after I already wrote it down, so this is like a warning to you guys. You should, the next thing I want you guys to do is to write what this sort of means to you, and maybe you want to break this up into different verses, different parts, and then write the in-between. I'll be doing it after this example, but yeah, you're still welcome to do whatever way you like, whatever way is easiest for you. And I'll explain more what I mean when I do this again. I should have wrote it down, but then Moses summoned Joshua and said to him in the presence of all Israel, to be courageous, sometimes it has to, to be encouraged, or sometimes you have to have courage to stand in front of a lot of people in order to get more courage, I guess. But anyway. The reason I wrote down you must divide it among them as their inheritance is because as you're having courage, you must treat people with being, while being fair. Because to be courageous is not to think that you're better than anyone else, because that's also pride. But to have courage is to take care of those who may not have the same courage as you. I wrote, to have courage, you must take care of all the people fairly. So I'm kind of restating the verse that I just read in a way that I can understand it better, or what I got from it. Like, the Lord himself goes before you. It's not, to me, that means like the Lord is going before you. He put himself in front of you as like a guard to protect you, and that he cares enough for he himself to come down from heaven to earth to defend and keep these people safe, which he was able to do then, so how much more for those who listen and obey him, you know? So, what I wrote next, I also wrote in a way that connects the first sentence that I wrote to the next sentence. I'll read it to you. To have courage, you must take care of all people fairly, for God himself came down to protect and save you / them, I'm talking about the people in the Bible, when he could have sent an angel. To have courage, you must remember God came down for you. There is no need to live in fear. People are going to be afraid. Fear is something that's never going to go away. And that's the thing about courage that you need to remember. You're not a coward for having fear in your heart. If somebody's coming at you with a weapon, you're going to be afraid. But it's what you do is courage or living in fear. But there are right times to have fear, like the fear of the Lord and stuff like that. There's a season for everything. The point is, courage is with fear. And it's kind of remembering that God is here, working with you, working in you. Anyhow, just don't live in fear. You know, there's nothing much to it to me, but do not be discouraged. To me, like, being discouraged is like other people telling you should be afraid. So don't let other people install fear in you, or don't pick up their fears. Like, I don't have to accept what they're afraid of as my own fear. If they're afraid of talking to people, then I don't have to be afraid of talking to people. And it's an example, you know? And I don't think I really need to go much further with the example. So this is me working for about one verse. You're welcome to pause this and see if you can try to read it. Good luck with that. And yeah, you just continue on with other verses like that. And I actually, why don't you guys tell me what you guys wrote and learned in the comment section below? Because I really want to learn from you guys as well. Because just because I'm like here doesn't mean like I don't want to hear from you. Thank you very much for watching. And you have a great day. I will have a great day because God has made this day a new day in the creation. And this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad. So the joy of the Lord is my strength, and I am rejoicing in today. And I'm going to have fun at that church thing tonight because God has given me courage and strength, and I'm speaking it into life. Because God came down to give me, and it's there for me, especially in that place of courage, and especially in church. So I know that everything's going to be okay. I know that he's going to give me courage to talk to people and be okay. And everything's going to be a-okay. So we're all good. You guys have a great day, and I love you. And I wish you guys to remember that I care about you, and more importantly, God cares about you. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.